Welcome to Yoga to Transform, and I'm Christina. Thanks for joining me this morning. Today we're going to dive into inspiration. Now, the reason that I picked inspiration is we obviously just did our YouTube chat on teachers who inspire us, our first one, and it made me think about what inspiration is and where it comes from and how we can cultivate that feeling of aliveness and enthusiasm and readiness to go in our body on a daily basis. Because what I notice in my own life is that the flash of inspiration will come, or the energy to do something new and exciting will arrive, and then it dissipates over time. And normally it's because my head gets in the way and says that's not really a good idea, and maybe we should keep doing things the way that we know it. And so my momentum to continue pushing forward with the idea kind of dissipates, and sometimes the idea goes nowhere. So this inspiration is something that comes from within and comes from without, and it's this combination of you finding the centered place of your own core and your connection to the universal, and that voice that's always with you, supporting you and working with you and flowing through you and connecting and supporting you. So today as we move through class, we're going to connect to our core, so apologies in advance, this is a strong core class, and soften and connect to the back body as well. So for Anusara, we have inspired teachers, which is another, I thought that was really, that's the first step in your way to certification. And that's what I am. So in Anusara, we say that the individual is the front half of the body. So when we're working on the front half, we're working on our connection to the individual, and it's what we see in the morning. We hardly ever cultivate this connection to the back part of the body. So the universal is the back part of the body, and it's the support that holds us and the nourishment that comes through into us. So today we're going to connect to the universal through the core of our own being, so that we can strengthen our resolve to stay inspired and move forward and progress through life in an inspired way. So let's take a moment to close our eyes and just tune into the rhythm and flow of your breath. And breathe all the way down into your belly, and even as you inhale, just feel the belly rise, and as you exhale, just consciously draw the belly back towards the spine. You can even work on pulling the hip bones together and lift the perineum. And notice how the drawing of the belly back towards the spine just creates a slight concave in the lower back, like you're drawing backwards, and feel how that even just brings the knitting of the ribs. So when I say the knitting of the ribs come together, and they even gently kind of fold down towards the pubic bone as well, and we're creating this centered and supported area. Inhale, just rise up and allow the aliveness of who you are to fill your body, and then exhale. Hip bones come together, pubic bone lifts, perineum lifts, and draw your ribs down towards your hips. Feel that engagement. Inhale. And then exhale. Last time, just that gentle moving into the core of your own being and into your connection to something far greater than yourself. Just allow yourself to soften into the support and open to receive that voice of inspiration that arises from within and from without. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Bow your head to your heart, release your hands, inhale, lift your head and open your eyes. So to start with today, we're going to bring the hands to the lower belly and do something called breath of fire. So breath of fire, we inhale deeply, and then we do a round of 30 short, sharp breaths where the exhalation is quick and we're drawing the belly back to the spine, the lower belly back to the spine, and then we inhale quite quickly and it's a pumping action at the lower belly. All right, so shall we do that? Inhale fully and then go. Inhale fully, hold that, lift your perineum, sit with the energy that's building inside of you. Exhale, release, inhale fully, do that again. Inhale fully. Lift the perineum, hold the energy, resist the temptation to dissipate it by shaking and moving around. Just sit and notice the feelings, notice what's happening. Exhale, release. Last time, inhale fully. Let's go. Inhale fully. Lift the perineum, hold that, sit in the fire that's building within you. This is the fire that carries you forward when inspiration strikes. And then release that. Nice work. Starting on our backs today, please. I'm just going to move my blanket out of the way. I won't need it for the rest of class. And firstly, just keep the knees bent and soften the feet into the floor and just feel your lower back. Your back on the mat. Roll the head of the arm bones back and just feel that connection of the support at the back of the body just holding you. Now we can feel that right now, but that feeling is always with us. We just don't pay attention. So I want you to get accustomed to feeling that. Now to start with, what we're going to do is just what we did earlier on in class, where we're going to pull the hip bones together, lift the pubic bone to navel, pull the perineum in, and gently just knit the ribs down. And you can feel that level of engagement, but also notice how the lower back starts to connect more to the mat. And then exhale, just release that. The pubic bone moves back. Let's do that again. Hip bones come together, pubic bone lifts to navel, pull your perineum in, draw the ribs down so that this whole area is enlivened and engaged, and then release that. Nice. Last time, just pubic bone pulls to navel, hips come together, perineum lifts, ribs tuck under, and notice how you're deepening your connection to the universal as you strengthen this part of who you are. Nice. And then release that. Perfect. Now bring your knees so that they're over your hips. You can point your toes, but keep the feet alive. We're cultivating this energy of aliveness. Place your hands beside your hips, and then to start with, the option is just to drop one toe down and then the other, one foot down and then the other, just touching the mat. So this is option A for your core activation. I want you to keep activated in that lower belly, drawing the belly towards the spine. Option B, you can extend the leg out a little bit longer and have the heel just hovering over the mat. So we're making this a little bit more challenging. Option C, if you want to, you can straighten your legs and then just drop the leg down, heel hovering over the mat. So choose the options wisely. And then the last one, if you want to really intensify wherever you might be, the option is to take your hands above your head and then palms face the ceiling, so that you're really having to stay connected to the source of inspiration that is buried deep within you. All right, so we keep working the ribs, knitting down towards the hip bones drawing in, pubic bone lifted to navel, and feeling that connection. really getting connected to ourselves and to something higher than ourselves. So we are ready and open to receive inspiration and then carry it forward. Nice. And then release that. Ooh, bring your arms into strong man or strong woman pose. Take your feet out as wide as your sticky mat and just move the legs from side to side, just gently relaxing, massaging into that lower back area. Opening up, we'll be doing a few twists today as we cultivate our ability to be inspired and hold that, carry it forward in daily life. Nice. And then come back and just come into downward facing dog to begin. Nice work. Place the hands on the mat. Downward facing dog. You can start by just walking the dog out, dropping the left heel down as you bend the right knee, right heel down as you bend the left knee. And then anchor into your foundation and your connection to the support that's always with you. Now hold downward facing dog. Even here, we're drawing the shoulder blades together, and notice how I'm knitting my ribs back as I pull my pubic bone in and draw the belly back to, so pubic bone up to navel, and draw my belly back towards the spine. So there's this connected fullness in the back of the body. So you notice how my back is full versus kind of, we can have all kinds of collapsed shapes here in downward facing dog. But we're strong and we're supported and we're carrying our inspiration forward. Inhale, take the left leg up, bend the left knee, stack the left hip on top of the right, coming into fire hydrant dog. And again, there's this drawing into yourself to create this deep connection. Unwind. Place the foot down, second side, taking the right leg up. Bend the right knee, stack the right hip on top of the left. Keep the shoulders anchored. Now pubic bone draws to navel, belly draws back, and the ribs create that support. Unwind. Look forward at your hands, bend your knees, lightly step, jump or walk forward, Uttanasana. Place your hands at your sacrum, clasp them together, or use a belt if you need to. Roll the head of your arm bones together and inhale, take your hands up towards the ceiling. So create the foundation and lovingly hug into yourself here as you anchor into your ability to be inspired. You know, there's the flash of inspiration that arrives, and then there's the holding it and carrying it through, making it part of your daily life. Release that. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Inhale, take your arms up. Take your right wrist with your left hand, anchor down into the right foot, hug in and stay anchored as you lean over to the left side of your body. Drawing in, pubic bone lifts to navel, perineum lifts, ribs lift, so you feel that connecting, and then lengthen and open. Inhale, rise up, second side, taking the left wrist in the right hand, extend over, anchoring down into the left foot. So we're really creating this lengthening through the body. Hug the biceps to the ears and create that connection to who you are and the bigger who you are by drawing the belly into the support of the back body. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release. Perfect. Come to the front of the mat. Reach for the sky. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift your heart. Work on the belly lifting as you lift the heart as well. Exhale, melt the heart. Place your hands. Take the left leg back. Big step back. Anchor into your left hand. Place your right hand on your right thigh. And to twist, I want you to bring your attention to the back of the body and draw into that place. So you're drawing the belly back towards the spine to create this concave shape in the back. Lift pubic bone to navel. Keep the ribs moving down towards the hips, and keeping that, begin to twist up along the spine. It should feel a little bit different. And then when we get here, we draw in again. We draw back and we connect. And then from that connection, we open to the inspiration. Keep the back leg lifted and strong. We stay anchored in the back leg, fired and supported. Unwind. Inhale, step forward, Uttanasana. Second side, take your right leg back. Anchor into the right hand. Place your left hand on the left thigh. So the action begins with the drawing of the belly back towards the spine. Notice how that lifts and fills the kidneys at the back of my body, fills that part of the body that we felt filling on our backs earlier. We draw the belly back towards the spine, the pubic bone lifts to navel, and then we're moving from the back of the body to open to the inspiration. Inhale, rise up and open up, unfold. When you get here, you can kind of reconnect again. So you're constantly plugging in to the support that's always with you. Unwind. Place your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Come forward, table or plank, and let's do that again. So most often I see in my classes the banana like this kind of hanging, or a banana back like this, right? So we want to fill up the back and get it connected. So the banana back becomes the connected and inspired back. We do that by pubic bone pulling to navel, belly lifting, and we fill the kidneys. They lift up towards the ceiling, and the ribs knit in, and feel that container of strength that you've just cultivated. Keeping that, come down, knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga. Roll the head of your arm bones back, lift up, Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. Exhale back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Look forward at your hands, bend your knees, lightly step, jump or walk forward, Uttanasana. Lift your heart halfway, Adho Uttanasana. Exhale, melt your heart. Ground down through your legs, and inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands together in front of your heart. Now, I forgot to say that the root word for inspiration comes from the Latin word inspirare, which means to be filled with the Spirit, filled with this connection to something bigger than ourselves. So reach up and connect universal and individual parts of who you are. Bend your knees, sink your hips, chair pose. Stay connected here. Draw the belly back towards the spine, shoulders come back. We're actually going to take the hands together in prayer and cross the right elbow over the left knee. And just like we did earlier, the belly draws back. We connect to the universal. We keep that support, and then we revolve around it. We fill up with the spirit first, not the individual. Unwind. Inhale, lift your heart. Nice work. Bend your knees, sink your hips, chair pose. Second time. I know there's a few chair poses. I should have apologized in advance. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Cross the left elbow over your right knee. So do that action. We pull back, belly to spine, pubic bone lifts to navel. We fill up and connect with the spirit, and then we open and revolve around that. Shoulder blades come to back, and we lean back into that support. Gorgeous. Unwind. Uttanasana. Nice. This time, step your left leg back. Place both hands on your right thigh, and inhale, reach all the way up. So take your attention to the back leg, because the back leg is your connection to your universal. So we want the back leg lengthened, high, sink deep into the front knee. Bring your hands together in front of the heart. Draw back, shoulders engaged, and then slowly, moving from the connection to the universal, belly engaged, begin to move from the back body, from the inside out. Now cross over. Nice. And again, notice how as soon as I get here, the first move is draw my individual self back into my connected, integrated higher self, my connection to the universal. Nice. Unwind, inhale, step forward. Second side, taking the right leg back, place both hands on your left thigh. So draw your attention backwards. Bring everything back from my universal self and connect to the higher self. Lift the top of your back thigh up, sink deeper into the front knee. Draw the belly back, lift the pubic bone to navel. Connect individual to universal and feel how that integrates and strengthens you. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And now, moving from the back body, the movement comes from the back body. Begin to twist and then fold forward. When we get to the pose, surrender the individual to the universal. Pull back, belly to spine. Feel that connection so that you can be filled with the spirit, filled with inspiration. Unwind. Place your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Float forward, table or plank. Check out, are we going for the banana back or are we going for the inspired, connected back? Come down, knees, chest, chin, or Chandrasana. Lift your heart, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Exhale back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Look forward at your hands, bend your knees, lightly step, jump or walk forward, Uttanasana. Lift your heart halfway, stay connected to the belly, let the belly lead as you move through these processes. Lift the arms up. Exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Perfect. Let's repeat that, but make it a little bit more challenging, right? Because we want to hold the inspiration when the challenge hits. So inhale, reach up. Bend the knees, sink the hips, coming back into chair pose. Draw the belly back towards the spine. Create that connection here. Nice. Now bring the hands together. Perfect. And cross the right elbow over the left knee. Moving from that connection to something far greater than yourself. Now reconnect when you get here. Belly draw back to spine. Pubic bone lifts to navel. And from that connection, deepen it. Nice. Now some of you will stay here. Some of you will come up onto the tips of your right toes and go, that's different. And some of you will just play with taking the right foot up off the mat. Flamingo. Whoa. Nice. Unwind. Release that. Uttanasana. I don't know, the fire. I felt the fire then. Nice work. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Chair pose, right? So we get the fire in the belly, but most of us, the belly fire dissipates. Draw back, nice. Now move from the back body to come into the experience and expression of your inspiration. Now connect again, reconnect. We're always surrendering the individual to the universal. The universal knows the individual already. It knows the will and the desires. Either stay here, come up onto the left toes, or next phase, anchoring into the right foot. See if you can lift the left toes up. We need that connection, hey? Release that. Fold forward. Now do not dissipate the energy in the fire that's building. Ground down through your legs and inhale, rise up. So hold this. Resist the urge to shake it off. Resist the urge to tread your feet. Allow the fire to burn inside you and build, because this is the place where the momentum Keeps going. All right. Reach for the sky. Inhale. Exhale. Fold forward. Nice work. Inhale. Lift your heart. Perfect. Exhale. Melt your heart. Just place your hands. Come back. Downward facing dog. Just hold that for a moment. We're just giving your legs and your belly a break, but obviously keep the pubic bone lifted to navel. Keep that engagement. Walk forward again. Lift your heart. Exhale, melt your heart. Resist the urge. This is where we start seeing people in class go, oh, I need to get rid of that energy I'm building. We want to hold it. The energy builds for a reason, so we can carry it forward. So stand in the energy. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Close your eyes and connect to the inspirare, the spirit filling you. Feel the aliveness in your belly. Inhale, reach for the sky. Nice work. Bend your knees, sink your hips, chair pose. Take the thighs back, draw the belly back towards the spine. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Cross the right elbow over the left knee. And again, reconnect and now lengthen and twist open. Okay, here's the fun part. Some of you can unwind, place your hands, step the leg back to come into the lunge. Some of you will stay here, come up onto the right toes, draw into this universal south to stay inspired. Lift the back foot up and then step it back, coming into the twisted lunge. Now we're here, reconnect, re-plug in, tune into the universal that's supporting you. Nice, some of you might be able to take your hand down to the floor and open up a little bit deeper. Unwind, step forward, Uttanasana. Hold that, do not let the legs jiggle, or the head, or the hands. Rise all the way up. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Close your eyes. Connect to the spirit that fills you up and carries you forward. When we combine the individual, inhale, reach your arms up, bend your knees, sink your hips. Draw the belly back. Look, just notice the fullness, the curve in the back, the fullness in the back. I'm connected. Hands together in front of the heart, twist over. Now, again, plug in. We're surrendering the individual in service of the higher self, yeah, and allowing that to guide us. Now either step back the way that I showed you, or come onto the toes, lift the foot, and then inhale. Oh, this side's a bit jiggly for me today. Lift back. Notice how I recommit to the history in my back leg and let that anchor me. Now I recommit to my commitment to be universally plugged in, and then I can take this expression deeper. Some of you may want to bring the fingertips to the floor. Nice. Unwind. Place your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Feel the aliveness in your belly, like a fire burning. Come forward. Create that integration in your lower back. Keep that as you come down, knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga. Then lift up, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Even here, pubic bone lifts to navel. Exhale back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Walk the feet towards the middle of the mat and turn around to the long edge of your mat and take your feet out wide, just coming into Prasarita Padottanasana, and fold forward. Anchor your intention into the support of something far greater than yourself. So when we can combine our universal self
with our higher self, with our individual self, we let go of the forcing and the believing we have to do this all on our own, right? And we allow ourselves to be supported and guided by our higher wisdom. So just soften into the ability to let your higher wisdom inspire you and carry you. Hands on the hips, ground down through the legs. Inhale, rise all the way up. Nice work. Heel toe your feet together. Now we're going to put all of that together and come into something called reverse half moon pose, Parivrita Chandrasana. So I just want to show you it before we go because it has confused students in class this week. So we're here, we'll be coming into it from here, right? Now we release the left hand and we place it at the top left edge of the mat. We anchor into this right foot and the right leg. We connect to the universal and then we inhale, step up, lifting the back foot up. Nice. Now again, drawing in, we unfold, and we come up, okay? So that's where we're headed. Shall we go there? Nice. Reach for the sky, inhale. Bend the knees, sink the hips, chair pose. So integrate, connect, allow yourself to open to the inspiration. Belly pulls back. Nice. Pubic bone lifts to navel. Keep that as your hands come together. Move from this supported, integrated place. Bring the elbow over, so the left elbow over the right knee. Reconnect. Then that opens you up even more. Standing on the right foot, come onto the left toes. Lift the left foot, step back. Dear oh dear. Nice. Lift the back thigh, draw belly back, open further. Nice. Now look down at the front foot, unwind your left hand, take it to the top left corner of your mat, anchor into the right leg, inhale, rise up, connect, open from that place. Unwind. Fold forward. Even here, surrender that universal tendency, the individual tendency to the universal. Rise all the way up. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Just breathe in. Feel the aliveness of who you are when you're integrated and connected. Reach for the sky, inhale. Bend your knees, sink your hips, chair pose. Bring your hands together in front of your heart and cross your right elbow over your left knee. Draw the belly back, lift pubic bone to navel. Move from the universal, listen to that guidance and support. Either place your hands either side of your foot to step back into the lunge, or do it a little bit more funky. Lift the back thigh. Again, reconnect. We're always surrendering to the universal. And we think it's an individual expression, right? When inspiration takes hold and carries us forward. But it's fueled by the Spirit filling us. Look down. Take your left hand to the, your right hand to the top right corner of your mat. Anchor into your left leg. Lift your right foot up. Connect. Unfold and open. Unwind. Place the foot down. Don't let the energy get dissipated. Stand in that and inhale, rise all the way up. Hands together in front of your heart. Soften to receive the inspiration. Place your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Come into table, Take your feet out wide, knees out wide, feet together, and come back into child's pose. You'll have to excuse me, I've got a cut on my knees, so it's a little bit painful, so I won't join you in child's pose. But even here in child's pose, connect to the back body. Breathe into the lower back and feel the fullness of that support guiding you. Then begin to place your hands beside either side of your knees and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae and make your way onto your back. Knees bent, feet hips distance apart, palms facing each other. Roll the head of your arm bones back. And just like we did before, bend your arms at your elbows, palms face each other, fingers point towards the ceiling. Just like we did before, hip bones come together, pubic bone comes to navel, perineum lifts and the ribs lift. Feel that connection and integration, and then keep that as you continue to lift the pubic bone to navel, to lift the hips to come into bridge pose, Situ Bandhasana. You can roll a little bit higher onto the head of your arm bones. Stay connected and full as you anchor and open. The real practice of inspiration is the practice of carrying it forward once it's hit. Coming down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Take your feet out wide, knees together, one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Close your eyes. Breathe into the aliveness. Bring your arms into strong man or strong woman pose. Bring your knees over your feet, and then moving with your breath, drop both knees over to one side. Come back over to the other side. Just moving from side to side. Nice. I'm going to inhale, come back to center and just hug your knees together. Do a quick happy baby. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And inhale, lift your head and your heart, coming up into a small ball. Exhale, release. 2 more times like that. Inhaling, lifting head and heart. Exhale, release. And 1 last time. Inhaling, lifting head and heart. Exhale, release. Release your feet on the mat. You can take your feet out wide and bring your knees together if you want to come into supported rest. Or you can extend your legs out long, allowing your feet to relax to the outside edges of your mat, coming into Shavasana. Just feel the universal holding you. And just surrender into that. There's no need to force and control and demand from the individual self. When you think you're doing it all yourself, that is the illusion. That is when inspiration dissipates. So lie here and connect to your highest version of who you are. we begin to deepen your breath and gently wriggle your fingers and toes to bring movement back into your body. Inhale, reach your hands above your head and extend long through the tips of your fingers and tips of your toes. And exhale, bend your knees and place your feet on the mat. When you're ready, roll to one side of your body and use the strength of your arms to bring your hands together to return to a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes and bring your hands together in front of your heart. To our ability to be filled with the Spirit and live an inspired life by consciously connecting our individual self to our universal self. We bow. Namaste.